Check the voice. I've got to get your attention right at the beginning because I'm going to work on this the way it looks, but I'm going to Chatland and I'm checking the voice. Oh, that sounded horrible. And my ears are covered. So don't hold that against me. Check it the voice. Good evening. This is our exclusive. Uh-oh, I got something going on up there now. I'm sharing. I'm good. I'm in the Zoom coming to you. YouTube. We're gonna get this going real fast. 7:42. I'm running a little bit late, so I try to get this downloaded to my clients over on Telegram on Saturday night, and then my Mr. Moneymaker will get this to you guys. But we've dropped a few videos over on the new YouTube channel. Make sure you're checking out the channels when you come over there, and we're building like different channels for you because I've got a lot of content, and we're even giving you some of my hours that my clients pay for. Not a lot of them, and one of them was oil, and that's where we're at today when I started, and it wasn't in any other thing except I was doing chart work and I was looking at my targets and my oil calls to the short side. This is not for most folks. You would be going completely, most likely, for what you understand, against the news. And it's not very wise to trade the news. What do we got going on? Well, the market's green. You can see Scully, which is a game file right there, is up about 8%. And what are we doing tonight? We're doing micro. And I'm telling a story at the beginning so you understand what I'm going to cover. And we're going to go to the DXY and the dollar. We're going to do micro. The metals having bull moves, silver, which I've been covering since April. Most of the folks and the recordings and stuff that you'll see out there, if you've gotten a chance to see that, and we may be adding, we probably will, a metal section to Titans of Trading, Mr. Moneymaker. So we'll get a metal section. I've got about 4 videos I could drop over there right now. Very good videos about what's going on with the metals. Are we still on oil? Yeah, I didn't come to see no oil, did you? So we'll roll up. We got a QI, which is popping about 20 to 40%, which is normal for an alt, and most likely give it all back. LCX popped last night. Just some alts up the board. We're looking for the dollar, and we're going to talk about what I see coming. LCX up about 3%, but it popped about 20 or 30% last night. A few coins here and there on the alt side, popping here and there, but not doing a lot. And for the most part, they won't hold it. So we're going to go find out what we're waiting on because they cut rates, micro. The Feds got out of the way. They said we're going to worry about jobs now. Jobs. Now we're jobs. No more inflation. No more inflation. We got jobs. We discussed Ethereum and the correction. It still hasn't happened at pushing the top, and it does not have to correct. I've discussed Ethereum BTC and the importance of that in some of the videos in the past. We got a trade call kind of video over there on Litecoin, but all trade calls aren't set up right when I show them to you. So you got to pay attention to that and you got to track it. Nobody's going to hold your hand. If you think that you come over here and it's just free money, you ain't got to do the work, you ain't got to sacrifice, and you got to put it in the time, I'm not for you at all. Check it a voice, check it a voice, check it a voice. It looks like my yeah, check it a voice. There you go. I got it up here. The green light's on the screen. I'm on one screen. I'll be moving on to 2 screens, but I'm merging computers. You may hear me talk about that for a while because it usually takes me a while to engage and activate my tech side. And I'll usually bring somebody in, and I'm live in so many ways because any of my clients could show up right now and I could start talking to them because, well, they don't know. Well, no, they get a notification in their emails if they want. But most of them just catch the recording. So, let's see what I got going on here. About 4 minutes in, and I think the video is about over with. No, 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 no. We haven't even talked about the dollar. What happened this week with the Feds? They cut rates. Did the dollar fall off the planet? Did BTC go absolutely to the moon? What about my trade call at 110 that I showed y'all? I think last weekend. BTC leverage at 110. How's that thing doing? And what am I supposed to do? Are you guys going to come over on my YouTube and help me? Baba, I'll click on real fast, and I made this call around 90 for my clients. Stocks. So I do stocks as well. We may get some videos over there. We're just kind of building the YouTube slowly. The story, the DXYs, that's where we're going to the risk alley. So that's the story. AVAX was one of my calls this week. Wormhole was one of my calls this week. So we may come back to either one of those 2. You guys don't seem to really like the alts that much, which they're the ones that give off the best percentages. Wonder why. And I'm just kind of rolling up to see if anything had sparked. And you can see AEVO up about 12%. I know that if I click on the chart, I may be getting ready to get rid of that one. That chart is absolutely dog shit dirty. Dog shit dirty. Did I make up a word? No. So where are we going? And have I lost your attention? Bob is straight up in the air. I try to just grab your attention and keep it with my voice for right now. Copper, we got a video over there with Copper, that AVAX video that's hidden in one of those channels. So make sure you study your YouTube and figure out how to use it and become a good subscriber. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, and go down there and type something. So Moneymaker got to do his job. Moneymaker, Moneymaker. Moneymaker Scott, you have lost the whole entire crowd. So DXY, what is that little blue box? That is a trade setup. I don't know what happened to my fibs just as I took them off. I seem to be missing something, and but that's just because of the chart it's on. So let's look at the other DXY dollar chart. So you got to see where I think it's going. Why do I think it's going there? Well, they cut rates. They're saying they're going to cut rates 2 more times this year, possibly. They could have to cut them more than that. The DXY, that's when I do these YouTube clients. Good evening. Saturday night videos. I've laid out a new schedule for you guys. Saturday night video, Tuesday night video, 8. And then I'm going to move Monday morning, and we're going to go Thursday night, I'm pretty sure. Wednesday, 9 a.m., Thursday, 8 p.m., Friday, 9 a.m., 3 recordings, 3 hot hours for you, access to me. And I'll keep those Telegram channels coming and filled up as I chart run a few times a day and update any calls or anything that I've sent to you guys. And obviously, Telegram one-on-one is being kept clean, only for you guys. You guys listening out there? That's what, if you're wondering what I do in the background, I run a Telegram. And you're more than welcome to come over. There's a public one and there's a private one. And come over and speak to me, or show your interest in the channel and why you think it's a good place for you. And you can come over in the public one and hang out. A few chatters, few chatterbugging. There's not a whole lot of thoughts on this, thought on that dumb shit you see out there on all these YouTube channels. Because all that is a bunch of dumb shit built on a bunch of scam and con. And you better believe all those views, all those subs, all that. We're not going to get into all that. We're going to talk about the DXY and the risk alley. That's what I call it. The break up under, and I've been throwing just nonchalantly 96 at it, but it is right about 96, and the move to right about 91, 92. And the risk alley and altseason, while a lot of people follow me through the years, I've been doing this for almost 10 years, altseason, which has been just dangled in front of everybody. Huge pumps, 3,000% move, 1,000% moves. Turn on the phone. Hey, Mr. FOMO, not Mr. Moneymaker. Go get Mr. FOMO. Let's bring in Mr. FOMO and talk about how much these alts are going to pump and how many people are going to buy them straight up in the sky. BNB all the way from 1,000. You could have got that thing back in the day for 10 cents, I think. Believe me, some of this stuff I would have never thought would have kept going. BNB is a tricky setup chart. And what happens if the whole exchange goes under, or CZ dies or something, and that thing is just going to go 90% down? Boom. That's what they do. They go boom. What do they do, Scott? They go boom, straight down. They go boom, straight up too. But they really go boom, straight down. All of it. It's gone. 90% of everything you had in there. Go boom, boom. So risk alley, the dollar, the 96 to 91, and to take that out more micro, Trump, 3 years of Trump, and what a lot of people see is the developing, I still call it a developing uptrend. You do technically have 3 touches. You don't have 3 touches upstairs really, but it's developing. It's a dollar and it moves slow. But what I want you to see is the sideways. And when it gets down here, what does I have a tendency to do? Bounce. So to get to about 91 and 92 and bounce back up into those moving averages, and we could be looking at an extended sideways move again. I don't see a lot of people talking about this, which if it begin to hold this, would spring this thing higher at some point, but that could be on down the road, or either or it breaks, which a lot of people think. A lot of people think that it's going to break below. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you back to the great financial crisis. Where was that at? 2005 to 2008. I'm pretty sure you'll find it in there. And so what do we call this now? So that's the risk alley. Pump your brains out, Mr. FOMO, Mr. Moneymaker. Ching, 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 brr, ching, 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 brr, ching, ching, brr, ching, ching, brr, ching, ching, brr, ching, 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 brr. Was that a song? Oh Lord, I don't listen to enough of this dude. So great financial crisis. And what happens in that period where the dollar's down in those areas to the metals? So we'll be trying to get a metal section as well up in some videos and get my content going with that. You get 2 videos a week. One's called SOS Trade Co. I'm still kind of looking at how he's dressing it up and doing it. He's doing a good job. We'll continue to work on the YouTube channel. We're going to try and we're going to attempt to do a Saturday night live at some point, but we're going to have to build a crowd. It may take a while. And the intention is to be here when we crash and when we take off to 1 million, because they're going to price people out of BTC. I could talk about that all night long as I look at the clock. All night long, sing a little song. 7:53. So I got about half the video done, I think, but maybe not. I'm just jibber jabbing on a Saturday night, having a good time. Not a lot going on out there. Pump here, pump there. So the risk alley, it's kind of started. They've been calling alt season for friggin' ever. So what would that mean? Your fiat, your euro, your pound, your alt, your New Zealand, your hunting longs, if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Risk assets would, and you know, you can see it. Just look in time, alt season, guys. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen this. I don't see a lot of people showing this and explaining it this way, but alt season, alt season. The ramp up in your interest rates, and then just a sideways reach up, fool everybody, and then rip them. That's what they do. So you see a you get wrecked. That's what I call it. You get wrecked. You see that in crypto a lot. And they get people going the wrong way, and it boom. And now they're going to go down and they're going to test that red moving average, and which is you can see is right around 91, 92. And then after that, all bets are off. Even though they do go a little lower here, you can see the sideways grind of the DXY and the US and the debt. There's a lot of things I could go into here, but mostly Black Swan, Trump 3 years, pro crypto. Every green light in a friggin' world's been given to pump these alts. So, you know, I think the people arguing the alt season's not here. I agree. There's too many coins, this or that, but we got ETF craziness going on now. So what do you got that's in an ETF? And do you understand priced in? And do you understand cycles? And have you studied your coin that you're in to understand that you possibly got your coin that ain't going to run this time? Because that could possibly happen. So do you got a coin that ain't going to run? Sui or Sol? Sui or Solana? Solana. It's like a salad. So let's go to BTC. So I outlined a trade call about a week ago on BTC around 110 leverage. This is a different chart. This is which I pulled up last time, so we don't want that one. That's Elliott wave. Everybody does Elliott wave. So if they pull back here on BTC, they're pulling back just a little bit more. I'm gonna go to a higher time frame because to me, you know, these candles aren't that big. Now, a lot of people are coming here and short back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's not really, it's not what I'm here for. In so many ways, Mr. Buddy's back behind me making sounds and he's distracting. What's up, big boy? Hey, he's snoring. You better stop snoring while I'm doing a video. You just absolutely the video that I made on BTC and the leverage trade, which I have not closed, and will not unless it takes me out, is right there about 110, and you can see it ran up. Now I could take profit. Did I take any profit? Nope. I'm after 123, and it's more, and I'm after 144. You know, I'm gonna sell into about 144 and 150. Those are the targets that I get, and it makes sense. That move's gonna be made by what gold's done and the way crypto usually reacts to this, blow off tops. It just makes sense. A lot of people think that this is the top. Maybe it is, but my trade has the potential of giving me and paying me some good money. So I'm not going to listen to anybody that has come up with some TA and trying to call the top. And I will push my move up into that 143, 140, really 140. I'll probably be out of this trade at 140 if they don't take me out. Now, stop losses and different things like that would depend on what kind of leverage. Now, you could have spotted it. I don't know what the percentages end up on the spot, but I would suggest that you would get your protection where I came in at 110. And you know, if you're going to lock in profits on volatility, it's a little different with BTC than crypto alt, but If you're going to lock in profit, you just take some profit and you adjust the trade. I would not trade this. I don't care what it's going to do. The risk to the reward with this now is that it is a top and you're coming in like way too late. So you've lost the opportunity to make the money as far as I'm concerned. A lot of people will short on that 618. That's what I'll show you right there. I'll clear the chart. So a lot of people call this the golden pocket. They'll come in here and they got shorts going. And maybe they loaded up on some leverage and got one candle, but that is not trading into a moving average over all the moving averages. I don't know what you're doing. That kind of short trading does not make sense to me. It'll never make sense to me. This is a bull, and going back and forth is not something that people do well with if they really truly are making money. This is about making money. So I'm looking for the move up into those areas, up into those areas. We'll go over and take a peek at the Ethereum, which is to me macro when you talk about crypto. And if I'm gonna make a macro crypto video, I'm gonna go do BTC and Ethereum. Obviously the dollar's involved as well. So to me, and I think it ended up being 37. Was it 34? I did all this coverage. So the week in review, I did 3 live rooms for 3 hours. I covered a slew of these coins. Wormhole was the one that went up this week, and AVAX, both calls. AVAX was my call around 20. Wormhole, it was a scout down in the bottom, and I took off. I do suspect that we're going to get some blood, and these things are going to pull back. I do find that most people in crypto aren't paying attention to any of this. They've been put to sleep, put out their own meme coins. They got a bunch of crap. They're pump funding, or they've got Astar, the new pump fund CZ coin, or they're caught up in every single different thing that you possibly be caught up and can't focus on nothing. Big leg, without going into this too much, a pullback. We need a pullback. That's what I'm showing you. Without getting too technical with this one, use up too much time. The entire leg, and then understand your math and your Fibonacci's, and you can see that blue moving average. And I would tell you that that's a good place to look. You can see that's right around 34, and that's where I would look if you want to trade. I would consider this a trade now. Actually, my targets on this one's 10,000 now about what's happened. I suspect that we may go to 10,000. So a good entry here could get you a 3x. Obviously, the next question for people who are schooled and have a proper education with crypto and are capitalized is what in the world are the alts going to do if Ethereum makes that move into 10,000? Good Lord, have I went 15 minutes? Because I'm starting to give away a lot of valuable information for folks that got their money in this. Reach out if you want some, come over to the Telegram. And speak to me or interested in the Telegram. And that's what I'll tell you with the YouTube. I only can do so much in a video. You need directed, energized, alert attention to what you're doing, or most of y'all are probably in trouble that come along, especially the newer folks. We're talking about doing a channel and 5 videos. For newer folks, it may take a while. I'm very busy. So for me to stop and do that for folks, especially in the middle of FOMO season, alt season, I'm going to change it to FOMO season, Risk Alley. Did I finish telling the story? I'm gonna keep coming back to it because this one's a little hard for me. I think I did because I did the dollar, BTC, Ethereum, the big boys, like the top 3, the big 3, I call them. XRP, you just don't want to know, but we'll be covering XRP. Obviously, I did Link, Litecoin, and I have a slew of alts. I also do stocks. Apple making a big move. Let's go up to Apple. Apple. And Apple's an interesting chart because you can make a case for an Elliott wave here, and I prefer Elliott wave when we discuss Elliott wave on stocks and more structured. And you can make a case for some Elliott wave in here. Now I'm on a 3-day, so it's not going to pick up well. You have to go to the day or the 4-hour to really look at these legs of money. But you can see 1, 2, 3, and then they could have put a 5th one in, but instead they go that way. And then you come up on a potential head and shoulders. So very interesting chart, even if a lot of people, people who have money and stuff, they have this stock. So very interesting chart, goes into a head and shoulder, could have potentially just been the end of it all, and still could be. But a lot of the markets are doing this. If you'll go and look at the RUT, the Russell 2000 and all the small caps, and all of the stock markets in the risk alley, and why I don't believe that alt season's been canceled. Maybe for some coin, but this and what I just showed you does not speak of that, just like the gold and silver moves do not speak of the top of BTC and why I took the risk on the BTC 110 trade. And I'm going to continue to push it. It doesn't matter to me if they take back my profit. They can't get my money anymore. I'm here to make my targets and make my money, or what's the point of picking the trade out? Last Saturday, it just happened to be in a perfect spot for y'all, for me to show it to you. A lot of times I'm gonna have to show you something, and you're gonna have to stalk it, Litecoin. We'll come back to it when it bleeds, and I'll take you to the moon with Litecoin. How about that? Will that get you back? If I take you to the moon with Litecoin, that's the third. That's daddy number 3. Now, the 2 moves this week, as I'll roll down the board, and we may pick up something, but it's right on the flip over. So my charts flip over at 8 o'clock. So trading view clears the percentages, and then I have to look at each chart. Now you see, I hadn't quite finished flipping over for the night, but it's in the midst of it, and all these will zero out. Focus, Scott, and in the video real good, the S&P, the wrist, I mentioned SUI and Sol, the 2 Ethereum possible killers, kind of going at each other, and their charts look pretty similar, to say the least. And then I'm just gonna pop on silver real quick. I have a lot of silver charts. You can see for the weekend these shut down, so these percentages stay on there, and you can see silver took what they like to call the slammy in the metal crowds, and went right back to it. I think I was doing some live on this, so this chart may be just a little bit off on the fibs and stuff. And I was just taking fibs off and showing where you start to look at with these bigger legs of money and where this thing could go. And you can see it's most likely pushing up into 50. And there may be a slowdown on silver where they form a little pattern there and get out the bears out, but they haven't done that yet. They're just starting. Technically, when I look at this chart in silver, they just come out of this. This is what we're doing now. And then there's that. And that's going to get us to 50. And I don't think 100's out of the question, even though silver and 100 and the math and the Fibonacci's I'm showing you here. And this is kind of a good segue into the end of this. These are Fibonacci's for crypto. And you'll continue to get me to mention this, because when these cryptos go boom, like I was telling you, the upside and not the downside, this is the type of moves they'll do. And the metals are pushing this now, the Feds and the printing and COVID. And, now, with the rate cuts and the focus on jobs, I don't think you're going to see those jobs coming in very good. AI, a lot of different reasons. So you're going to continue to be bad on those numbers. And they've kind of put inflation down. So a little bit of talking on macro and the Feds is this, you're going to hear labor. And how are those jobs, how are those numbers going to be good? If you've been paying attention to that, they can come in hot sometimes, but it's going to have to come in consecutively now. And they don't have that. And, unless the inflation numbers go crazy in their face, what are they going to keep doing? Cutting rates. And we're going into a expansion in a way. And I still think that they need to probably bring in some helicopter money, universal basic income. You'll get me kind of talking, because a lot of people tend to do crypto that don't have the money to do it. And CBDC, I could go into quant, which is one of the coins I cover in one of my calls. I could go into a lot of things with that. So, but I think that's what you guys get on a Saturday night. Good evening, clients. I'm doing client work tomorrow. So I'll be coming through. You guys reach out. The Zooms are available for you guys if you need them. I've got a busy schedule, as you heard some of my schedule there, and I'm going to get it going. And I'm going to work myself into. And we've been talking about this for a while in so many ways. I've done it, but it's been live rooms, just with stuff in the middle and not a directive focus. But now that I'm kind of doing these exclusive YouTube, and I'm going to be doing some, not necessarily exclusive because I do so much work. Twitter drops where I do like building my Twitter. And in this video, we'll go on Facebook, and the Facebook AI, I'll chop it up into 100 videos. and people won't even know this is the video that we put on YouTube. So all that kind of stuff's going on there. My team is artificial intelligence. I have 3 or 4 artificial intelligences that I use, and honestly, the write-ups and the way it's presented in the communication is so much better because I tend to go fast and I talk, and I assume people understand things a lot more than they do, and I have a crowd of clients around me that are trained. And they ask questions, but they don't need that much. They've been around me for years, and if you're interested in coming and hanging out with us in a more private setting, you find your way over to Telegram, find the link, it's on my stuff, and come over and you'll talk to Moneymaker. No, you talk to me. Moneymaker's over there on YouTube, and you'll talk to him. He loves to talk too. So, Moneymaker, story's done. BTC call. I didn't pull up the AVAX or the wormhole chart, but that's more for those Tuesday videos, which tend to not grab anybody's attention. So put W, wormhole, AVAX, but you need blood. How much? That's where retracement entries and trade setups and different things. The trade setups for those two pretty much went off, but they're pumpy too. So there's not that much of a trade setup off the bottom. Trade setups come in patterns, and as you lift up and you slow down, as you can see with the silver, you could pattern break. You see what I've got marked off there. These are technically pattern breaks, a little bit higher right there. And right in here, they come in, pull back, and you jump in. And you ride the wave. And then they do another pattern and they break it. And then they take off again. But you gotta understand what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a bull right here. Here come the silver bells. Clients, I'll see y'all Monday morning. This will be the last Monday morning I do, and I'll be flipping it to Thursday. I'm doing the flipping, and we'll flip it to the 8 o'clock version on Thursday night, recording shortly after that. So nothing will be real different. It'll be 8 o'clock, and some of you guys can show up now. And that Monday will give me a break coming out of the week and to process the information and everything, and I can make videos. So anything big happens, I'll be making videos, doing this, doing that, doing some Twitter spaces. I even do a Telegram space if people will show up. But the crypto market has been put to sleep, and 80 to 90% of a lot of people that I know since 2007, 2016 and 17 don't do crypto anymore. And the new folks pump fund and gamble and have a million choices. And I'm not too sure their million choices are going to participate as well as what some of the stuff that I've been studying for years or the pump out. And then, the big thing with keeping up with all this is what comes next, the chicken or the crypto. See you guys in the next video. Thanks for the support. Hit the subscribe and love and like everything and ask lots of questions on YouTube.